Teaching Ignite is making Hunter do that. Yeah, that's why it's funny. All right. Well, let's see. I don't want to see this many things. Yep, Cameron, and then Wilson, just like the volleyball. Yep, that's me. I'm excited, but tell me, what did you guys do on Wednesday? Did Josh come and teach you? What did he teach you? Social media? Okay, forget everything he told you. Just kidding. No, Josh is great. He has a great class, but this and social media work well together because social media is mainly to your database, right? And so we are going to grow your database. So that's kind of marketing to these people. So ours coupled together really well. So it is grow your database. So here's where we are in the flow of things, I guess. So today we're going to talk about a smart data bank, build your database, feed your database, communicate with your database, service your database, and a few other things all in the middle. Who's a good reader in here? Can you read this for me?
Your database is your business. Building up the number of names in it and a relationship with those names is really at the very core of what building a real estate business.
So building a real estate is all about two things: the number of people and the relationship you have with them. That is it. If you can have the most people and have the best relationships with them, you will crush it, period. You're going to have hard times depending on the market, how many agents there are, how hard you're working and things. But if you have the most people and the best relationships, you win. And so look at some of these other successful agents. Heather Groom, she just was like the solo agent of the year for our office. She knows so many people, and people will constantly call her and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. What do you know? Like that's like a call that she gets, and she connects people with jobs. And you know what they also call her about? Real estate. She closes crazy amounts because people know and like her. So that's our goal today. We're going to work on that number and the relationship. So we are in the smart data bank, which I don't like calling it that, right? I'm a nerd. Like Hunter said, I excel at Excel. Like my spreadsheets will put most spreadsheets to shame. And I like calling it a database because that's what it is. It is a database of people. People like calling it a data bank because it's like, yeah, you can go to the bank. Like, no, that's stupid. So what's a database? It is a list of people that you can contact. It should not be a stagnant software that you just kind of have. It should be growing and changing constantly. Like think about the contacts in your phone. That is a database, but how many of those do you actually know? And how many of those do you have all the right information? Who's changed their phone number, their email address? I have some funny email addresses in there, like some old Hotmail email addresses. And so, yeah, you didn't want to put your name with a Hotmail. You didn't want to be associated with that. I waited till Yahoo or Gmail to be like, maybe I'll put my name. Yahoo was iffy, but yeah. You're the weird one. So your database, and what we're talking about is the contacts. These are not leads. So the way that I separate them, a contact is someone that you know and probably knows you. Like if I called them on the phone and asked if they know who you are, they would say yes and be able to explain your relationship somehow. A lead is some person that you have their information that you think that are probably buying or selling real estate at some point in time. I am very generic with leads because a lead does not mean it's buying this month, this year, even this decade. So we're going to focus on contacts today. The people that know, like, and trust you is the goal. So I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is how Keller Williams breaks down the model of lead generation. So you have up top, you have prospect and marketing that dumps people into your funnel, right? And then they're separated into two sides, the leads, the contacts. When you get in contact with them, they become the contacts. And then those people are who you're going to cultivate for conversion, and they become new and repeat business and give you referrals. It goes around and around and around. So we are going to focus a lot on this middle section, not so much on the lead capture, the prospecting and marketing. That's important, but how many numbers do you guys have in your phone? Do a competition right now. Pull out your phone. Sounds like you did this recently.
Well, I want to pick one.
Yeah. I have a lot of doubles, I found out, but I have 2731. So I would divide that in half. What's that, like 1400? Anyone beating me?
I don't remember what I
If you go to contacts and scroll all the way to the bottom. So you can click even on the side, like right under the Z or the number, whatever's on the bottom, and then scroll. Yeah. Okay, so if you were to rate each one of those people on your relationship, what would they say?
Yeah, I already broke mine down, and I'm still, from my phone contacts, I would say that, because a lot of them are like doctors.
Oh, yeah.
I would say that it easily drops down to half for like closer relationships, like when you put that third party, like if somebody called and said, you know, do you
Yep.
know this?
So Gary Keller in the MREA, the Red Book, he says that you should be able to get 2 closings for every 12 people in your database. And why it's a weird stat like that is one of those 12 will actually close, and one of those 12 will refer someone that closes. So that's like 16.666667%. I think it's more realistic to get like a 10% close rate from your database. So if you have 250 contacts that you are actually friends with, you should be able to get 25 closings from that. That's kind of my easy math. So if you have 250 and your goal is to close 25, great. You don't need to worry as much about this prospect and marketing. You worry about this middle section that we're going to talk about. If your goal is to close 25 and you have 200 people, you either need to be better than the average agent at converting your SOI, or you need to get more people through prospecting and marketing. That's how I see the world. So Command, is anyone not using Command as their database? Anyone against Command? Okay, good. We'll talk a little bit about Command and some of the things that it does today. But if you ever have questions, Hunter is the go-to on that. And there's probably a handful of agents in here. What's wrong with my clicker? I have to stand up and click things. Okay, so here's the 4 laws of the database that we're going to cover basically for the whole day. We're going to build a database, feed it every day, communicate systematically, and service all of the leads. Do you guys know the goal for Ignite? One of the goals with your database? 200 contacts. Yes, 201. Ooh, yeah, because they changed that. I forgot that they changed that. Yes, it used to just be 200, but then the stats said you have to have 201 or more. So why do you think that they have that number? That's it. It's $100,000. That's the database. Isn't that crazy to think if you know 200 people, you can make $100,000? Yeah, I like that math. Yeah. Yep. The relationship with 200 people, which is kind of hard. They did this, I don't know if it's a study or a book. I read it somewhere. It's real. Just trust in this. But they did this thing where they found that people usually have 150 closer relationships Like if I said, fill out your database of 150 people, most people can do that. When I say do 200, you're struggling for the last 50. And so they think we used to live in tribes of 150 people. I don't know when they like birth the 151st, if they're like, we gotta split and make new tribes, or you go all by yourself. I don't know how they did that, but
They've actually shown too, if you're trying to have, like, if you're all out to dinner or whatever, if you have more than 6 people, it breaks down into 2 conversations. So, it's things like that that they've shown.
That's
Even
interesting.
with like, so I did a lot of research on co-housing communities. And they specifically have done the research of how many people you need to have a co-housing group effectively, even how big the tables need to be, how many people need to sit at the tables. So it's really interesting the way that we are social people and how we break it down. And that was true for me. Like I got to 149 when I went through and I said, who could I really call right now and say, hey, wait, I'm now a realtor, right? And but anyway, sorry.
That is very interesting. No, I like things like that. Well, let's just jump right into ahas right now. The short little section that we went through. What are you guys taking away? What are you like, oh, interesting, or yes, I will for sure need to do that. What's an aha?
For the building relationship with the contacts is, I have like over 400, but how many of them could name me? Maybe 100, maybe.
Yeah, and if I were to, so the way that I rank it, and we'll even talk about this, is I like A, B, and C, right? So yeah, so and how I judge them is like, imagine you're walking through the grocery store and you see a person that you know. If you go up and talk to them, that's an A. If you wave to them, that's a B. If you hurry to the next aisle, that's probably a C if you're avoiding them. The Homer Simpson go into the bushes kind of a concept, like that's the C. And so really the A's are probably going to be where you get most of your business from, because you're not going to be contacting the C's. The B's, you should try to work into A's.
I would almost say, so for me personally, I would say my C's, so back to the fact that I have a lot of doctors in my phone because of my mother, but I also have a lot of contacts, both on Facebook and in my phone, that are my mother's friends, right? So they know me through my mother.
Yep.
And I have several contacts that are like that. I have over 1,000 in Facebook of friends and stuff. So a lot of those are C's. It isn't that I would hide and go the other way. B's would be, some of my mom's friends would be B's, but some of my contacts like on Facebook and stuff would be C's.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep.
If it would be somebody that I'd want to walk the other way, I would not have them even as anchoring.
Yep.
Even a doctor, we don't do business with people.
Unless they give you lots of business, maybe. Did I go the wrong way? Okay, let's build your database. So, and let me even drop this into Zoom, just in case there's any Zoomers on here. How do I chat? I hid the panel.
But I like that. I've changed mine to talk to, wave, or unsure of
Ooh, I like that.
for my C's.
Okay, turn that off. Okay, we are going to build a fake database right now. So this is what Command has for you. So all these percentages are how to get your contacts to 100%. Stop sharing. So we'll talk about this in a second. Let me figure out this technology. All right. So in Command, if you were to fill out each of these categories with something, then they get 100%. So on the bottom, you'll see like 20% of the contact is the name, 20% email, 20% phone, 20% email address, and then 4 across the board for source tag, birthday, Facebook, and job. So I think that at a minimum, every single contact should have a name and then contact information. The other thing is, if you have helped them buy or sell a house, or if you know when they bought or sold their house. For example, if you knew someone that bought a house 7 years ago, how much equity do they have in that house? A lot. They, yep, that could become, yep, that's probably true. So they probably have a bunch of equity. Those are great people to talk to. After 7 years, you probably hate the house that you live in, and you have all the problems that you can see. So easy to do that. The other things that you should put in your database is things to make your life easier. So birthdays, really easy to make a phone call or send a mailer on someone's birthday. So if you put birthdays in there, you can run a whole smart plan in command off of birthdays. If they own or rent a house, really nice to know, because you want to talk to them like they want to talk to. If they own a home and all of your marketing is like first time home buyer seminar, they're like, I own a home, I'm not first time. And if they rent and you're like, now's the perfect time to sell your house, like, well, this isn't for me. And then they don't like your message. What's their job? You'll be surprised about how often you can connect other people in your database with someone just knowing their job, right? If you have a plumber, like those kind of things are super important, because your clients will ask for things like, hey, do you know a good plumber? Yes, I do, because I have a database of that. Tags, yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, what does it add?
Yeah, so tag, this could be like the A, B, and C. Are you gonna smile, are you gonna wave, are you gonna talk to them, kind of a concept.
In other words, how are we going to
Yep.
categorize them?
Yep, and
Is FB?
yes, and you can like link to Facebook, like click on it in command. I don't know, I think they should change that. And maybe they have, and I don't know.
But is source like how?
So yeah, source is where you got the lead from, right? You might meet someone at an open house that becomes your best friend. And so they would be an open house lead. So when they close, you can say, you know, maybe I should do open houses. Besides just getting friends, I'm also closing business from open houses. So then you can know. So the better you are at the source, the better you'll be in the future at knowing where your business comes from and where you should focus. So we're going to build this. So I have a sheet here. We are going to do this. It's called the DTD2. Do the database 2. I don't know what the first one was, but we're already to version 2.0. So what it is there's 2 letters every single week. And so you have 13 weeks, you call the whole alphabet. This week is C and K. So if their last name starts with a C or a K, I want you to write their names down here on this page. And then do a little checkbox for what you know, really with the email, the phone, and the address. And maybe the birthday, if you happen to know that. You don't have to go that deep, but email, phone, and address. And let's see if you can fill up all 30. Because let's see, if you were able to do 30 every single week, that's 390 contacts that you would have in your database, which should be about 39. Yep. Yep. And a lot of people will use this as a tag, right? And so you can then tag your people CK or C and K. Yep, and just write their names out real quick. Use your phone, use your Facebook, use your whatever. We'll take about 5 minutes to fill out a good list here. And like I said, put a check box if you know their email, check if you have their phone, and a check if you have their address. Thought so. What happens if you go over to the right?
Making filters there. But right here, it just has.
Yeah, like if you click name, it's probably just gonna sort by A's. Oh, there we go. Well, that's search. Yeah, I wonder if you just typed in like a C. No. Oh, yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to work.
That's not the last name.
You can call restaurants. They need to buy places. They can expand. Yeah. Yeah. It's a smart way to go.
My dad thought I was crazy when I told him that, Ray Kroc was in the real estate business.
They're actually more wealthy from that than they are. For right here. At least that's, at one point in time, that was true statement.
No, it still is.
But it still is, yeah.
They buy the land and rent it out to the franchisee, and that's where they make their money. The royalty fee is like 6% that they charge, basically covers operations.
Smart.
I'm not even gonna get to these.
That's like how you want to like group people together. So yeah, I'm a fan of A, B, and C. Some people tag them like, this is my SOI, this is my family, this is a friend, this is a frenemy. You do like vendors.
I don't have my license yet, that's why I'm not doing it in command, I have to do it in spreadsheet. Just,
Oh, I wonder if I have to do that. I need to renew in March.
well, I've never gotten my license yet. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They said that they did.
Oh,
I had to do that. Well,
that's dumb.
no, right?
All right, let me know when you guys are done.
Can we just put a check that we have?
Yeah, it's way too small. Way too small. I'd be impressed if you could fit it all in.
Not really a question, do you know how to, get the buying contacts in demand?
No, but that's a great problem that comes up all the time, I would imagine. You might have to just delete some out. There might be a merge. That sounds real. It's like some of you got some good lists here. This is good. Part of the challenge is thinking of who you know that fits into this. Because it's real easy and real cheap to call people that you know and market to people that you know. What gets real expensive is when you run out of people and you need to pay for things. Okay. We're building a fake database on paper rather than command. So all the people with the last name C or K that you know, write them down. You can always call him and be like, Hunter, are you too busy? I'll take your leads for you.
That'd be the best chance of having any business with them. The best way to get more money from him would probably be an offer of investment.
Yes. Ooh, yeah. Hunter, I have a deal of the lifetime. You just have to make me your agent to be able to buy it. I like that.
Hey, I got this awesome investment property, the oceanfront property in Arizona. I'm donating that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what ahas are you guys taking away as you're filling this out? How hard is this?
Just starting, I would say. Especially to get that.
Yes. Getting the info is rough. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. It can be easy. Yeah, birthday, job, real easy. Yep. Email's always the hardest one. If they own a house, you can look on tax records to see what their address actually is. Or you can just ask people, hey, where do you live? What other ahas do you guys have?
So I've been doing this since I'm waiting for my license. That's I really feel like I got.
Mhm.
But the more that I go through the night, the more that I get into who do I know and how do I know them and stuff like that, the more comfortable I'm becoming with just the fact that. So what if I haven't talked to them in XYZ amount of time?
Mhm. Good.
Which is a nice thing. So first I'm like, people I know are probably people I know from my mom because I feel like I've been just so kind of big.
Mhm.
Yeah, doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
And my experience is almost always, like I reached out to a couple people on Facebook that, I don't have your phone number in my phone anymore. I'd love to reconnect and da, da, da. And it's fun to watch their response of, oh, sure, here it is, da, 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 da. I'd love to hear from you. But,
Yeah, it's easier than we think. When I like the aha, don't forget it, because we're going to come back to that. All right, so feed it every day. Let's talk real quick about prospecting and marketing. What's the difference?
So prospecting is actively contacting them, having a conversation or some kind of interaction that is an exchange.
Yep.
Whereas marketing is more passive, you set it up, you know, it does its work. It's also like the big net.
Uh-huh.
Prospecting is, I already have them, how do I convert them?
Which is better?
They're both necessary.
I have a definite answer for this. The Gary Keller.
Prospecting.
What do you think Gary Keller would say?
More important.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, because lead
That's what he
leads.
would say.
So, yeah, there's anything that's lead generation because people will die, people will, this, that, and the other. So you gotta continually do that. That's the whole point. You gotta add.
Yep. So Gary Keller says you should be marketing based, prospecting enhanced, meaning you should have your marketing that goes out, but you also need to actively make your phone calls, kind of a thing. I have a differing opinion. I think that's what you should be after you make money. I don't think you should start marketing based because if you don't have money, it's real hard to market. So I think you should start prospecting based, marketing enhanced, like Josh's class on Wednesday. That was marketing. And most of it was free marketing. So you can do that. But if you do that and only that, you are only going to get your limited database and not even all of them. I don't look at social media often. So I probably won't see your posts, even if we're friends. So you posting on Facebook is not going to be enough, but you call me, I am one of those like zero inbox kind of people. I have to look at every text. I have to look at all my emails. I will call people back if they leave me messages. Like, you will get me if you call me. So I think you start out prospecting based with marketing enhanced. And then once you make money, you start transitioning to marketing enhanced, prospecting based. The reason that Gary Keller says to be marketing based, prospecting enhanced is because it's leveraged, right? How many phone calls can you make in an hour? You're limited. How many people can see a Facebook post if you've paid to boost it? And how much time does that take? And so you're limited on money for marketing and time for prospecting. So while you have more time now, I think you'd be prospecting based, marketing enhanced. When you start hitting a ceiling with your time, that's where you shift and do more marketing and less prospecting. Now, prospecting is never going to go away. There's never a time in your life where you will just post something out on an ad or something, and then people will just respond, list my house, and you won't have to make a phone call. So if you were trying to avoid calls at all, then it's not going to work out. Yep. Yep. So your sphere right now, so remember, wait, how long has people been in real estate in this room? Okay, so you probably have a little bit of a database that's been growing over time, but you just got your license. How about you guys? 4? Nice. A month? A week? And not even licensed. Look at this. We got a veteran in the back, and that's it. So,
Veteran who didn't do much. About 4 years.
yeah, so 4 years, so 16 closings. He has 16 past clients. And those 16 past clients probably all know about 150 people. And so even though you're starting out and you might be like, oh, it's so hard to get to 200, get to that 201, and then it will just start growing naturally as you build business. Just don't let the people that you started with fall out, because you will get new and repeat and referral business. Those are the two things that we're looking for. Repeat, or if you're new, and then referrals over and over. And then that just circles back in. Have you guys ever heard like the theory of weak ties? So yeah, so what it is, they did a study, and you're more likely to find a job if you talk to someone that you don't talk to often, like your weak ties. And I think the reason is like, think of all your good friends. Like, you're already talking to them all the time. They already know you're looking for a job, so they would naturally just bring that up in conversation. But the people that you haven't talked to for 5 years, they have a whole different set of people that they hang out with and interact that you don't even have a connection for. Like, if I were to call my best friend and he's like, oh, my friend's looking to buy a house, chances are I'm already going to call that friend because they're my friend as well. But the further out you get, the weaker the ties, the more different their spheres are. So you're more likely to get business from them. So if you relate that back to real estate, you're not looking to find a job, you're looking to find your next closing. I think you're more likely to get that from your weak ties, referral wise, than your strong ties that you hang out with all the time. So the question is, who would your sphere refer to you? Like, who, if you made a phone call right now and said, who do you know looking to buy or sell real estate? And they say, I know someone. Who is that going to be? Might be different for everyone, but who do you think they would refer to you? A friend? Like, what's their circumstance? Like, what's their target market here is what I'm getting at. Are they old, they young, they male, female? They have a bunch of kids? Are they about to have a kid? They just get married? What are all your friends looking at? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah.
You know, so I kind of put this to-
The reason that I ask this is it's real easy to ask for referrals and get them if you give like some sort of, what's the word that I even want to use here? Like a little teaser, like give them a hint to let them know what you're looking for, and people can come up with the ideas way easier. So if you said, who do you know looking to buy or sell a house this year? They're going to say, I don't know, I'll let you know. But if you said, hey, who do you know that just got married that wants to buy a house? They might be able to think of someone. And so you might be directing your message. I mean, every phone call you might ask a different thing. Like, who do you know that has a bunch of stairs in their house that doesn't like walking up and down them, right? That old demographic. That's all my neighbors. Yeah.
So that's.
Yep. Yep. This job market is crazy. Who do you know that just got a new job that needs to change? Yep. Yeah. The more little hints that you can give people, the more direct things. They always give the example like, who do you know at work or at church that needs to buy a house? Like, I don't like that as much as like, I know the target that need to buy a house, right? Why do people buy a house? They need more room, they need less room, they need a different location, kind of a concept. Who do you know that just got a divorce? Send them my way. Who's about to die? I'd love to sell their house. You might have to be careful with that. Yeah. 10 years.
So just some real estate agent, somebody that works in network marketing.
Uh-huh.
So in your experience, who the people who pay more, the network marketing person or the?
So I think it's network marketing. And the reason I think that is, and it could be a real estate agent, depending on how you approach things. There's this book called Givers and Takers. Great book, real simple concept. There's two peoples in the world. There's people that give and there's people that take. And you're not all of one or all of the other. I don't know. If you're my little sister, it seems like you're all taker. But in some things. So for example, if you are a giver in real estate, you're going to add value on the phone. I feel like network marketing, you almost seem like a taker because it's, hey, I want you to sign up with me so you make me money rather than let me help you make money, kind of a concept. You're taking their money rather than giving them a way to make money. And so I think real estate, you're adding value. You're trying to help people. Everyone needs to live somewhere. And the people that own homes are the wealthiest. What is the stat that changes every year? I think it's 69 times more net worth on average if you own a home than if you rent a home. Something ridiculous like.
You know, for all experiences, you know, I think when I was younger, I did the network marketing.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And it's just because people, they see you and they run away from you.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't want that to happen with this.
Nope.
Because I want, and I'm trying to already said it.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. You're a giver. Yeah. Add that value. The other thing is, think about the news right now. Like, what's going on in the news right now? How often are they talking about home values? But when they talk about the news, usually it's nationwide or it's very generic. And so the news, they make money by people looking at their articles, right? So they have figured out people actually care about this information. So when you come with the same information, people will be okay talking to you. If you say, hey, I'm just calling because the real estate market's crazy right now. Like, I'd love to answer any questions. People are like, oh yeah, I actually do have questions. Or how often are you at a party that people are like, oh, how's the market? Or I wonder what my house value is. Maybe that's just me and how I talk to my friends, but that's what happens. So people end up getting value with this. So how do you ensure that your clients will refer you?
Make sure you do a good job.
Do a good job. Yep, I like that. How else?
Well, again, if you think of one of our values with Kelvin is, contribution, right?
Mhm.
Contribution. So if you're talking to them from the reference point of, like you said about the plumber, right? So if you hear them talking about, yeah, oh my goodness, my sink broke down. hey, well, if you're interested, I've got a plumber that I'm really comfortable with unless you already know something, you know?
Mhm.
So listening in the conversation of ways that you can provide value for them when you have conversations, I think they're gonna be much more likely. It's like, yeah, you know, she just did this. I gotta find somebody, you know, I'm gonna have to pay attention and find out if there's really something. Find someone.
Yep, yep. So one of the reasons I wanted to mention this, I probably have heard, maybe 100 times more. Hey, I gave this person your number. They want to buy a house or sell their house, and I gave them your number. And I never hear from them. I've probably heard that 100 times more than I've had someone call me that someone has given the number. So to ensure that they know, you almost have to teach them how to give you a referral, right? Because everyone, like if they're your friend and have a relationship with you, if you say, who do you know looking to buy or sell a house? Like, I can't think of anyone, but if I do, I'll definitely let them know you are in the real estate business. And that's when you stop them and say, I love that. Thanks so much. Word of mouth is like the lifeline of my business. So I'm super grateful for this. Could you take it like the step further than that and actually give me their number or put us in a group text message together? Because what happens is people have all the intentions to reach out, but then they never do. But my job is to connect people with the houses that they love or blah, 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 whatever you want to say. And so I will reach out. There's 100% chance that I will reach out when they won't reach out. Could you do that for me? And people will always say, oh yeah, for sure. And then you just taught them how to give you a referral. So next time that they think of someone, they're like, oh, let me just put you in a group chat with my buddy. And then you get the referral rather than someone saying, oh, did you get a call like 6 months ago from Bill? And you're like, no, I don't know who Bill is. They're like, oh, I gave you your phone number. Then you look Bill up. He sold his house 6 months ago with some random agent. Get reviews and testimonials. This also helps. This doesn't fit into how I see this class working, but Keller Williams says it should. So get them. I like the concept of figure out what you want people to say and become that, right? The whole like writing your eulogy before you die type idea. Like, what do you want people to say about the transaction that you just had? Do that, and that should help you get referrals. Plus, if you ever do advertising, the more reviews you have, the better off, because people will look at them. So let's get some quick ahas about building your database and feeding it every day.
We just talked about training them how to get the referrals out, just give your number out.
Yeah. Yeah, and the easiest script is like, thanks, that's so awesome. Can you go the next step and give me their info? I always have people tell me like, oh, I just want to check with them. I'm like, why don't you do that all in a group chat? Like, you know me, you know that I'm not just going to reach out to someone if they don't want to talk to me. I have better things to do in my life than bug someone that doesn't want to be talked to. So, oh, you put us in a group chat and then we can connect. Uh-huh. How do I want to answer this question? Do you want what I wish that I actually did or what I actually do? So, so we use Brivity on our team as our CRM, which is not Command. And I don't suggest using it because it's not free. So use Command. They're almost the exact same, but Brivity works better for bigger teams. So I send everyone my Brivity link. When I say you're searching for homes, I say, look here. So almost everyone is what I try to connect with my CRM, which would be the same of sending the command out. I'm a big fan of, so with all of this, you can see what they're looking at. So I'm a big fan of that like Big Brother type idea. Like when they're looking at a house and I see that they're looking at a house, I will call people and be like, I don't know why, but this house just made me think of you. And they're like, oh my gosh, I just saw that house this morning. I'm like, oh, isn't that the craziest thing? And they don't know that I'm in the back end, pulling up their search history, actually looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. They think we're great friends, even though I don't know what they're actually looking for. It's all a trick. It's all a trick. All right, communicate with your database. To succeed at a high level in real estate sales, you must commit to frequent contact with a database with the intent of building close relationships. You guys remember the first quote we read? It's all about the number of people in your database and building the close relationships with them. This is Gary Keller again. It's all about frequent contact and building in close relationships. So,
That intent of close relationship, not intent of selling.
yes. People do business with people they like, period. You ever go to like a car dealership and you didn't just like the car salesman? So you don't even want to buy a car, even though like you'd be okay with that brand, they're showing you an okay thing. You just don't want to work with them because of who they are. So if you go somewhere and you really like that person, you're almost trying to like make it work. You're like, I want you to get this sale, but I need you to come down just a little bit. Like you're almost negotiating for them to get the sale. So the better relationship, the better off you are. So I always have a lot of people ask in this class, like, what do I say to my database? This is the answer. Like your goal is to build a close relationship. And real estate should be talked about, but real estate's almost always talked about, because what happens if you say, how's work? They're gonna say, blah, 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 great. How's work for you? Real estate's crazy. Wait, do you own a house? Good, you should own a house right now. Where I think home values are going to go down like 5 or 10%, will probably bottom out, and then we're going to rock it up again because we don't have enough houses on the market. Whatever you want to say, whatever your messaging is, like it comes out just by asking those questions. So build the close relationships and it will all come. So this is where tags come in. Segmenting your database. This is the number 3. What do they call it? Communicate systematically. So we are going to communicate, but not just communicate, we're going to communicate systematically. So you should separate your database into segments. This is where you can just use your tags. I don't like their examples with next to the little people, so I added my own bullet list. So they say you should be like, this is a VIP person. They like golf and military. They're an investor. Referral, a dog lover. I think those are kind of dumb. I would do nothing for someone that likes golf versus dogs. Like they'd be the same person to me. Like I'm not going to call and be like, hey, you dog lover. Yeah. Yeah. But if you're big into golf, maybe golf is your tag. Like, and then you host like a golfing event and you invite them out. You don't invite the military guy who's never swung a golf club. You invite the golfers. I'm a big fan of who owns homes, who doesn't. I call them first-time home buyers, right? I don't call them renters because they're first-time home buyers. They're going to buy a home. I just don't know when. Who's out of state? You know, most of my marketing is very Utah-based, but I have friends living all over the place. So I want to know who's out of state. Do I need to change my marketing for them? Who's an investor? Things like that. You can add as many or as few of these as you want. And then the whole idea here is you can take the same newsletter and sprinkle in a few different touches to really customize it to them, right? Like the golf lover, you're going to talk about how you just went to a golf tournament or you met, I don't know, Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is building a golf course in Park City. There you go. There's your newsletter to the golfers. Your dog lovers, maybe you talk about like the new dog park that's opening up in Vineyard. I made that up. It sounds real, but made it up. Things like that. Or you just send great deals to the investors. You can do very specific marketing. 90% of the newsletter could be the same, but 10% is custom to them if you wanted to do that. Or you can do like everyone else and just do the newsletter the exact same to everyone. So Keller Williams has 3 different lead generation marketing tactics, I guess we'll call them, to communicate systematically. 19 to connect. This is for leads that you don't know. You should call them every quarter. You should send them an email every month. You should do some sort of mailer type touch, and then you should invite them to an event. Real easy. That one is less important than the very far right one. which is the 36 touch is what we call it. I don't know why they call it 36 to convert here. So this is what you do to your database. The leads get the 19 to connect, the database get the 36 touch. Now the 36 touch consists of 4 phone calls, so every quarter. So if you do the DTD2, you call every letter of the alphabet every quarter, you're done. An email every other week, so 26 of those, 2 events, and 4 mailers. They say promotional direct mail, like a magnet, calendar, whatever. I just say mailer. The difference, so when you have a lead that you want to move to your 36 touch, that is when you use the 1 to cement. It's a high value touch that solidifies the relationship. Let me give you a real life example. Let me say I call my buddy Paul. I just went to lunch with him yesterday. I was like, Paul, it was great chatting with you. Hey, I'm looking to build my business. Who do you know that I should know that wants to buy real estate? And he's like, oh, you should call Mark. Great. Mark gets entered in as a lead right now. I'm going to call Mark. Mark doesn't answer. I'll hang up. I'll send him an email. I'll probably do a few extra touches right in the beginning. If he doesn't reach out, he is in my 19 to connect. I will call him every quarter. I'll send him an email every month. I might send him mailers. To be honest, I won't. And then when I have an event, I will invite him. If I never get a hold of him, that's where it dies. If I do get a hold of him, I'm going to give one thing of value to him. My thing of value to every buyer or seller is I will meet them and talk about the process. You're buying a home? Great. Let's sit down and meet. That's my one high touch of value. You're selling your house? Great. I'll come out and give you your home's value. I don't overthink it. It is literally meet. I don't know how else you cement the relationship. Did you know that 75% of buyers and sellers work with the first real estate agent that they meet? Isn't that crazy? So if you go on 4 appointments and you have no idea what you're doing, statistically, you will take 3 of them. And that's to closing kind of an idea. That is ridiculous. So then the 36 touch, this is where I want to focus more time. So this is how you convert your database to closings. So we talked about 4 phone calls, right? DTD2, easy. What do you send in the emails?
Maybe what's happening in their neighborhood as far as.
Yep. Did you know that 20% of email newsletters from real estate agents never get opened? 80% never get opened, 20% do. So I don't think it matters what you send people. My favorite way to do this is you set them up on the neighborhood nurture. It sends them an email from command every 2 weeks about their neighborhood. Great for sellers. Hey, here's what's happening in your neighborhood every 2 weeks. You have to set it up once and then you're done forever. There's also smart plans for the 36 touch to add you tasks to do some of these things. 2 events. So Keller Williams here, we do 2 events every single year. So last year we did Splash Summit. We rented out, it's not 7 Peaks anymore, whatever it is down there in Provo. We rented it out. You paid per person that showed up. So you could invite everyone and then hope that no one showed up so you didn't have to pay any money. And then we did the pumpkin patch down in Springville, Jakers. And you pay for those. Yep.
How much?
I think it's like $7 a person. Yeah, nothing crazy.
Bucks is horrible. Man, you got a lot of.
Yeah.
results here.
You got 100 conversations that you get to have with people face to face. The best communications you could have with
Fun
people
place.
at a fun place. And then it's with Keller Williams, so they see thousands of people there and they're like, man, you are crushing it. Because I tell them it's my event. I don't tell them that all the other agents are here with other people. It's my event. And then the 4 touches, for the mailers, I would send a birthday card, a Christmas card, and a save the date for the 2 events that we do. That's it. Make it very easy on you. Don't have to come up with content. Don't have to figure it all out. If you're a writer, write emails. If you like graphic design, design a great mailer. Like you can use your strengths, but if you don't want to do any of those, send them some houses every other week, invite them to the events, and say happy birthday. And that's really how you take it from contacts to a database to a data bank, where you can just go charge your card because you know money's coming in. Okay. Let's see, what time is it? Perfect. How many of you guys have on your lists of people in your fake database?
Or you have to start my own stuff.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay on my list in part so that I have an email response for them
So
and
perfect. This was a trick. This is a list of people for you to call right now.
I can call them.
Yes. So I want all your excuses before we make some phone calls. Why would you not call these people? Is that real? Okay, you can skip those if you talk to them this week. Why else? You don't have your license. Don't tell Dean this. Call all of them. Tell him you're getting into real estate. But Dean, the broker, he'll be like, you gotta wait. But your friends are not gonna turn you into the division for telling them you're getting your license. You're not lying. You're not saying, I have my license right now. You say, oh, I'm just finishing up the last paperwork with my license, so I'll be good to go. Who do you know that I should talk to? Or give me some business. What else? Why would you not call this? This is the time to get all your excuses out right now.
I don't have the phone.
Okay. You can send them a message, like on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you have. Any other excuses? This is easy. Usually I get some hard excuses. I haven't talked to them in a decade. That's scary.
Excuse to call.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you take them off your list.
Again, the goal is to get as many people that you are going to have a relationship with. So that's what we're going to do right now. Go build a relationship. If you don't even mention real estate, I'm not mad at you, but you should. You should. Let them know that you got into real estate, that you're selling real estate, whatever, talk about the market. We're going to call these people for the next like 10 minutes. Yeah, till 10:45. We'll call these people. Do you guys want to make it a competition? Because then you can call these people, I'm in a competition, I want to win. If you want that, this is how the point systems will work. If you don't want it to be a competition, just call these people. You ready? Do you need to know what to say?
Take a script. I don't think you care, do you?
Nope. Nope. Okay, see you guys in 10 minutes. Hang out in the like basement, but you don't have to stay in this room if you don't want to.
I'm also not get away from them.
Should it be by text?
Yeah, yeah. Calls are better. You'll get
These
more.
guys can talk.
Yeah, that's why I'm okay with it, because I know not everyone can. Hey, how you doing? Good. Just learning everything about you. Reading through. Hey, well, I wanna set up a time to go over it. Middle of the time on Monday, Tuesday or tomorrow. Or Monday, I have a. Yeah. Yeah, I think it would be. More than Monday morning. Okay, well, yeah, let's do that. Let's do Monday. Okay, perfect. And then we invite. Amen. Yep, that'd be easy. Um, so the whole idea would be really visual nation. Comfortable doing everything. So you might be. The data. So, there's a couple different options. Yeah. So, first of all, you can do. That's usually, that's. You would have it there. You get still there. The other option is. So like the red thing, we're kind of. And then, you know, what we help with. Everything offers. Like, we have a lot of. Here's a 40,000. Or here's a. Another. We're only going to do. Everyone like an out.
Yeah, so you can. So I would like to start now. Well, and beyond.
Yeah. If you get like a definite answer if you're hiring or not, but is there someone else I could talk to, or since you said that hiring that them? And did you have like any experience or maybe? I feel like awesome help, but
And there was a lot of.
is transactions and
Yeah, so you feel really like. Your agent.
Yeah.
On the clients, that you're really working with. Make sure they're focused on other agents. Not often, like there's a little bit in just making sure that the lenders on board. Yeah. So you really want to see. Yeah, what's your phone?
it's 3-5-2-5-7-6-0.
They sent you. Yeah, reach out to her and just see if she has it. She has a.
I have a partner for this society.
Yeah, I reach out to her. Right. Then she might have. Everyone laughed.
No, but
Do it, and I want to hear all the wins.
you said the hardest one.
I know the offices, but the office, they want some experience. Which is the hard part, because in the office level, they
probably have a whole bunch of people that are,
Yeah,
they don't have the system, but they have a whole bunch of people that do it.
yeah.
But Jen Gray has a whole bunch of people working already, maybe shadow one, people like. Well, yeah, if she did that. Every once in a while, people try to find like an assistant.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of help them with everything. So it's a lot of this like marketing, some kind of actions, some thing here and there. And then the other thing that's, there's not a lot of, but it's called an inside sales agent. They're like on the phone. Talking. Does that sound like you? No.
Oh, inside sales agent,
You used to do that?
that's what I quit to do this, I did it for Medicare.
Oh, what company were you with?
Go Health.
That's not cool. My father-in-law did that for years and years. And then he's like 62 and a half. I'm done with this. I'm retiring. He retired the day he could. If he hated it too.
Yeah, I had to get some savings to this, so I can,
Mm-hmm.
a year and a half was way too long.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
did well, but there's a difference between doing well and actually enjoying what you're doing.
Yep. Yeah. He's like, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna go sub 3 days a week and like Social Security.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, I still done with
Might as well.
I can't get into going with this. I'm sure to go work at home night shift at Walmart. doing that.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
We're
you don't
paying
want that.
enough, but at least
Yeah. You can make your mortgage and buy yourself foods and then get some real estate. Where is everyone else? We lost them all.
They're all in the room, well,